3 days. That's how long it took an anonymous trader to turn $3,000 into $9 million. No job, no team, no edge anyone could name. Just a wallet, a coin nobody had heard of, and one decision that should have been impossible to make. Most people, sitting on a win like that, would have grabbed it and run. He didn't. He sat on a fortune that could vanish in a single block, and he waited. That choice is the whole story. What it cost him to make it, what it nearly cost him, and the thing moving in the dark that meant the choice was never really his to begin with. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how he did it. And the darker thing he almost certainly didn't know was happening underneath him the whole time. Because the wallets knew before the timeline did, they always do. This is a story about the single most seductive number in crypto, $3,000 becoming $9 million in 72 hours. It's the dream the whole meme coin world is built on. One trade, one coin, life, rewritten. But this isn't a get-rich video, it's a thriller. And like every good thriller, the story you're watching on the surface is not the story that's actually happening. Because while one trader was getting impossibly rich in the open, something colder was moving in the dark beneath him. And by the time we're done, you'll understand why the people who win these trades are almost never the people you think. Stick with me. The twist at the end changes how you'll see every meme coin chart you ever look at again. Because here's what makes this story matter beyond the highlight reel. Everybody shares the screenshot of the win. 3,000 to 9 million. It goes viral. It pulls 100,000 new people into the trenches. Each one certain they'll be next. Almost none of them will be. And the reason why isn't bad luck. And it isn't that they didn't try hard enough. It's that they never understood what they were actually playing, or who they were playing against. October, a coin called numegram launches on Solana. It has no product, no roadmap, no reason to exist. Like 98.5% of the coins that launch on this chain, it should have been dead within hours. A few buys, a few sells, then zero. Dust. But our trader sees something. We don't know what. A wallet, a whisper, a feeling. What we know, because it's all on chain, is what he does next. He spends $3,000, and he buys 56 million tokens, splitting it across 3 separate wallets. Now think about that move. 3 wallets, not one. That's not how a gambler buys. That's how someone buys who's already thinking about the exit, who wants options, who wants to move quietly, who doesn't want one giant wallet flashing a target on the chain. This is the part nobody screenshots. The win didn't start with the pump. It started with the discipline, before the price moved at all. And understand what he was buying into. A coin with no website, no founder you could name, no product that would ever exist. On paper, non was worthless, and worthless was the point. In this market, the absence of fundamentals isn't a bug. It's the entire mechanism. There's nothing to value, so there's nothing to anchor the price, which means it can go anywhere, to zero in an hour or to the moon in a day. He wasn't betting on a company. He was betting on a stampede, and he was betting he'd see it start before the herd did. Then, the coin gets listed on Moonshot, a platform built for exactly this, retail traders hunting the next rocket, and Gnon catches. In a single day, it surges 233%. Then, it keeps going. The chart goes vertical, the kind of candle that looks fake, that looks like a glitch. His $3,000 is now tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands. Imagine being him for a second. You put in $3,000, money you could lose without your life changing. And now you're refreshing a screen watching a number climb past figures you've never seen attached to your own name. Every cell in your body is screaming one word. Sell. Sell because you know that 98 times out of 100, this exact chart ends in a straight line down to nothing, and the people holding at the top are the ones who get buried. And here's the moment the thriller actually turns. Because now he has to do the hardest thing in all of trading. Nothing. Every instinct screams sell. Lock it in, take the win, and run, before the glitch corrects and the whole thing evaporates the way these always do. Most people, almost everyone, sells right here. And they'd be right to. They'd walk away rich. But he doesn't. He sells only a small part, and holds 55 million tokens. He's now sitting on a position worth millions, in an asset that could go to zero before he finishes his coffee. Would he lose it all, or make a fortune that didn't make sense? 3 days after he started, the position is worth more than $9 million, a 3,000-fold return. 3,000 to 9 million, the kind of number that doesn't feel real because it isn't supposed to be possible. And the on-chain record shows the discipline held the whole way. 55 million tokens across 4 wallets, sold in pieces, never all at once. He didn't get lucky and hold. He held on purpose. Now, I have to stop the story cold for a second, because this is where it gets dangerous. For every trader who did this, there are tens of thousands who did the exact same thing and lost everything. Remember the number? 98.5% of these coins go to zero. This is not a strategy. This is not advice. Most people who touch this market lose, and the ones who lose are not stupid. They're just on the wrong side of a game that is far more rigged than it looks. Never put in money you can't afford to watch disappear. Completely. And that word, rigged, is where the second story begins, the one happening in the dark. Because here's the question that should haunt you about a 3,000 to 9 million trade. How did he know? How did anyone know which dead coin, out of 70,000 launching a day, was the one that would run? The comforting answer is, he was a genius. The real answer is colder. To even have a chance in this game, you have to see what's happening on the chain before the chart shows it. The winners aren't watching price, they're watching wallets. They're watching which addresses are quietly accumulating, who's funding from where, whether the smart money is already in the room. It's the one real edge, and it's public, sitting on chain, for anyone who knows where to look. The tool most of the trenches use to watch it is called Axiom. Its wallet tracker shows you the money moving in real time. My link's in the description if you want to see what the winners are actually staring at. Because what the winners were staring at, on the next coin, was something that should genuinely scare you. Move forward to another coin. Same chain, same dream. A token called Pippin, rallying 500% while the rest of the market bled out. On the surface, another miracle. Another trader, $180,000 turned into millions, holding through the chaos. But a blockchain analysis firm called Bubble Maps pulled the chain apart. And what they found underneath the miracle was not a crowd of lucky traders. It was 50 wallets, 50 connected addresses that bought $19 million of the coin, all funded from the same exchange, within the same tight windows, with identical gas, and no prior history. Wallets that were born, used once, in sync, to do one thing. Then it gets worse. 26 more addresses quietly pulled 44% of the entire supply, about $96 million worth, off the exchanges, in clustered, deliberate windows. Not buying. Removing. Taking the coin off the market so the price had nowhere to go but up. This wasn't a community, it was a machine. A coordinated operation, dressed up as a meme coin, running on $3 billion of leverage in a single day. What the analysts called a ghost ship. No captain, no product, just market structure, pulling everyone aboard. Sit with the mechanics of that, because it's genuinely chilling. You corner the supply, quietly, across dozens of fresh wallets, so no single address looks suspicious. You pull nearly half the coins off every exchange, so when the buying starts, there's almost nothing left to buy. Thin supply plus a flood of demand equals a price that detonates. And the retail traders who pile in, watching that beautiful green candle, think they're catching a rocket. They're not catching it, they're providing it. Their money is the fuel the rocket runs on, and the people who built it are already calculating, to the minute, when to step off and let it fall. And that's the twist that rewrites the whole genre. The retail trader staring at the rocketing chart thinks he's early. He thinks he found it. But the people who built the rocket already know exactly when it lands, and on whose head. The winner you started this video rooting for might have been the player, or he might have been the bait. So what do you actually take from a story where the hero might be the mark? 3 things, and they're the difference between being the trader and being the exit liquidity. 1. The wins are real, but they are not random, and they are not yours by default. The 3,000 to 9 million trade ran on discipline. Small entry, multiple wallets, selling in pieces, holding on purpose. Not hope, a plan. 2. The game is structured against you, and the only defense is to see the structure. When 50 wallets fund from the same place at the same second, that's not invisible. It's right there on the chain. The chart doesn't lie. The people reading it do. Learn to read the wallets, or you're trading blind in a casino that can see your cards. 3. And this is the one that keeps you alive. If you can't tell who's accumulating and who's about to dump, you are not the trader in this story. You're the 98.5%. The single most expensive thing in this market is the belief that you're the exception. And notice what that does to the whole fantasy. The 3,000 to 9 million trade isn't a lottery ticket you can buy. It's the visible tip of a game where the edges, the early information, the coordinated supply, the leverage, belong to people you'll never see. You can still play. People do, and some win. But you play it with your eyes open, watching the chain like your money depends on it, because it does, or you don't play it at all. Both of those are smart answers. The only dumb answer is the one in the middle, betting real money on a chart you can't actually read, and calling it a strategy. Master the read, and you stop being the bait. You start being early, for real. Stay blind to it, and you're just the next screenshot someone else posts on their way out. 3,000 to 9 million is real. So is the machine underneath it. Both things are true at once, and the traders who survive are the ones who never forget the second one. The signal was always there, the whole time. Now you know where to look. If you want more of the real story behind the trades that made and broke fortunes, subscribe. Next time, you won't be the exit.